The sea murmurs against rusted iron, a whisper from another age. As divers descend through shifting curtains of blue, their lights fall upon a shape half swallowed by coral. Bronze teeth interlock beneath centuries of decay, forming patterns too precise to be chance. When a gloved hand brushes the silt away, the ocean seems to breathe again, as if something ancient has awakened. The object is small, but within its corroded frame lies a secret that should not exist. It will travel from the seafloor to laboratories and museums, challenging every timeline carved into history's stone. For this is not the fragment of a statue or weapon of war, it is a machine. But how could such a thing be built in an age before machines? What truth was buried beneath the waves? The discovery spreads like wildfire through the scholarly world, a corroded relic from a forgotten wreck, whispering of impossible craftsmanship. When experts gather in Athens, theories collide. Some claim it's a clock, others a navigational tool, yet none can explain the perfection of its gears. Beneath microscopes, bronze reveals a harmony of motion centuries ahead of its time. Every tooth and dial is carved with purpose, with a precision that mocks the timeline of human invention. The air inside the museum feels charged, as if the past itself is watching. Was this relic an accident, or the fingerprint of an intelligence we no longer remember? Weeks pass and the artifact begins to speak through modern machines. X-rays peel away its centuries of silence, revealing layer after layer of calculated brilliance. The gears are arranged not randomly but mathematically, designed to map the heavens. Ancient hands once turned these wheels to follow the paths of the moon and sun, to predict eclipses, to bring order to the cosmos. The discovery shakes the foundation of history itself. How could a people armed only with chisels and faith understand celestial mechanics so exact? Their model rivals those built 2 millennia later. As the model comes to life on screen, silence fills the room. The gears begin to turn, each motion a whisper from the past. It tracks celestial cycles, lunar phases, eclipses, even the movement of planets invisible to the naked eye. The realization lands heavy. This is not merely a relic, but a code. A message carved in bronze, meant to bridge time. Some whisper of lost civilizations, others of forgotten genius. Whatever the truth, the ancient machine defies reason, standing as proof that history may not be a line, but a circle. One that we are only now beginning to trace again. News outlets around the world ignite with headlines. The world's first computer. The machine that shouldn't exist. In crowded lecture halls, historians debate its origins. Some believe it was the work of Archimedes or an unknown Greek genius. Others insist it must come from a lost empire erased by time. But beyond speculation, one truth emerges. Whoever built it understood both the stars above and the mechanics of the earth below. For a brief moment, the boundary between myth and science blurs, and the world is left staring at the bronze face of an ancient mind that knew too much. The trail leads back through centuries to the golden age of Greece, a world where scholars gazed at the heavens and sought to understand the music of the spheres. Somewhere among them, a mind conceived what no one thought possible, a machine that could mimic the cosmos. Names are whispered: Archimedes, Hipparchus, Posidonius, but none are certain. The air in Rhodes once hummed with invention, its ports filled with bronze, gears, and knowledge that shimmered like heat over marble. Could this island, long swallowed by time, have been the birthplace of the impossible? Inside dim workshops filled with smoke and hammer strikes, bronze shavings scatter like sparks of thought. Artisans labor with tools of astonishing precision, guided by diagrams drawn with mathematical grace. They are crafting instruments for mapping the stars, instruments far beyond their time. Among them works a quiet figure, not a hero or king, but a thinker driven by celestial curiosity. His eyes mirror the night sky, tracing constellations only he seems to understand. The machine begins to take form, a creation born not from magic, but from obsession. As the gears interlock and the wheels begin to turn, the craftsman's face glows with a reverence known only to those who create something eternal. Outside, the world remains unaware. Soldiers march, traders shout, priests chant, but within this small workshop, time itself is being tamed. The machine becomes his compass to the heavens, his proof that logic could read the language of gods. Yet even in this moment of triumph, the shadow of war creeps closer. History, as always, prepares to swallow genius whole. War comes to Rhodes like a storm from the horizon. Flames consume libraries, scrolls turn to ash, and ships crumble beneath the waves. The craftsman's creation is hidden, sealed within a wooden chest aboard a vessel bound for the mainland. As the ship sails into the rising wind, lightning flashes over the sea, and with it, an era vanishes. The bronze machine, meant to preserve knowledge, instead becomes its tomb. Centuries will pass before the sea yields it back. The ship never reaches its shore. Torn apart by the wrath of the Aegean, it vanishes beneath the surface, dragging with it the sum of centuries. The machine sinks into darkness, its gears falling silent under layers of sand and coral. Above, kingdoms rise and fall, and humanity forgets what it once knew. Only the sea remembers, guarding the secret until another age is ready to hear its story again. And when that time comes, it will return, not as myth, but as proof that genius once burned brighter than history could contain. More than 2,000 years later, the sea that swallowed genius gives it back. In 1901, sponge divers off the coast of Antikythera struggle against violent currents when one descends deeper than ever before. His eyes widen behind the glass dome of his helmet, not at treasure, but a graveyard of statues, amphorae, and wreckage from another world. The diver surfaces gasping, clutching a piece of bronze encrusted with mystery. What he has found will force historians to rewrite the boundaries of ancient understanding. The relic is brought ashore to Athens, dismissed by some as debris, yet quietly fascinating others. As conservators chip away its crust, fragments of gearwork begin to emerge. The workers pause, unable to explain how such intricate teeth could belong to an age of spears. Days turn to weeks. Whispers spread through the museum halls. Each cleaned surface reveals another impossible detail. Inscriptions, mathematical notations, and dials arranged in deliberate harmony. It becomes clear, this was no ornament, but a mechanism. By the mid-20th century, the artifact captures the imagination of scientists. One man, driven by obsession, begins to unlock its secrets. Piece by piece, he sketches the hidden order. 37 gears, each working with uncanny precision. As he turns the reconstructed wheels, the mechanism predicts eclipses, planetary alignments, and the rhythm of time itself. The machine, once thought to be impossible, now beats like a heart reborn, echoing the lost intellect that conceived it. Years later, with modern technology, the mechanism's secrets unfold completely. High-resolution imaging reveals the gears were crafted with microscopic precision, their ratios encoding the movements of the sun, moon, and planets known to the ancients. Even the Saros cycle of eclipses, thought to have been discovered centuries later, is written in bronze upon its face. It is as though a fragment of the Renaissance had fallen into the ancient world, a ghost of knowledge that predates its birth by millennia. What began as a shipwrecked mystery now stands as the oldest known computer in human history, an artifact that bridges myth and mathematics. Its creators mastered the language of the cosmos long before telescopes, before the very idea of science as we know it. And yet, their names have vanished, their wisdom forgotten. The machine is all that remains, a whisper of a civilization that understood far more than time allowed them to keep. In its silent precision, it reminds us that progress is not a straight line, but a cycle, one that began turning long before we thought it did. The machine's rebirth stirs an awakening across the scientific world. Engineers and historians gather, each staring into its mystery like pilgrims before an altar. Some call it an astronomical calculator, others a cosmic clock. Yet behind every theory lies a single haunting thought. If such technology existed once, what else was lost? The mechanism becomes a mirror, reflecting both the brilliance and fragility of human knowledge. For in its gears, humanity sees not only genius, but amnesia tot dosh. As reconstruction teams begin building replicas, they face a humbling revelation. Even with computers and precision tools, duplicating the mechanism's perfection is nearly impossible. Every gear is measured with an accuracy that defies its age. Each turn aligns celestial cycles with uncanny fidelity. It feels less like invention and more like rediscovery, as though the ancients had glimpsed truths we are only now beginning to remember. The machine whispers of continuity, of an unbroken chain of curiosity reaching through time. Among the scholars emerges a daring idea. Perhaps this device was not unique. Perhaps it was one of many, the last surviving descendant of a forgotten technological lineage. Ancient texts speak of celestial spheres, rotating armillary models, and devices lost in fires or floods. Could the Antikythera mechanism be the lone survivor of an age of machines, erased by time? The possibility shakes the foundations of accepted history, for it suggests that humanity once stood upon a peak far higher than anyone imagined. Around the world, ancient mysteries begin to stir again. From the pyramids to the temples of India, from Mayan observatories to Greek ruins, the mechanism becomes a symbol, a spark that unites generations of thinkers in pursuit of what was lost. Yet, the more they uncover, the more questions rise. Was there once a global knowledge network carried by traders, sailors, and dreamers? Did humanity once understand that the universe was a machine of perfect order, and then forget? From the depths of the sea to the edges of the stars, the Antikythera mechanism reshapes how humanity views its own story. It is no longer a curiosity, it is a question. How could such complexity emerge in a world thought primitive? Did knowledge advance in cycles, rising and falling like the tides that once hid this machine? As scientists gaze upon its gears, they see more than a relic. They see a reflection of themselves, of every age that believed it stood at the height of understanding, only to find the past staring back, smiling. When the mechanism's symbols are finally decoded, a new layer of mystery emerges. The inscriptions are not only instructions but philosophy, a dialogue between science and belief. They describe celestial harmony, predicting the moods of gods through mathematics. The ancients did not separate faith from reason. For them, the heavens were a divine clock, and the mechanism its heartbeat. What we call technology, they called truth. The lines between science, art, and spirituality blur, revealing that knowledge itself once held sacred meaning. The text speaks of eclipses, planets, and festivals dedicated to celestial alignments, proof that the ancients wove technology into ritual. Each dial marked the rhythm of existence, blending human life with cosmic order. The builder was not just a mathematician but a philosopher, merging numbers with myth. In these lines, modern scholars sense a forgotten worldview, one that saw no conflict between science and soul, but harmony in both. Perhaps it was this unity that allowed such brilliance to bloom. Mathematicians recreate the mechanism's equations and discover the precision of its gear ratios. Mirrors modern astronomical models. Ratios of 235 months, 223 cycles, 19 years. The same patterns used in today's lunar predictions. Somehow, without telescopes or machines, its builders understood the celestial code with staggering accuracy. The more scientists uncover, the clearer it becomes. The mechanism was not a leap forward, but a memory, a rediscovery of something even older than recorded history itself. Whispers of ancient wisdom spread beyond academia. Some claim the machine's design reflects secret schools of knowledge, Pythagorean brotherhoods, priestly astronomers, or even lost civilizations that once charted the skies with impossible precision. Whether myth or truth, one fact remains: whoever built the mechanism possessed understanding that challenges the entire arc of human progress. Perhaps civilization's greatest secret is not what we have discovered, but what we have forgotten. As the scholars conclude their study, a realization dawns. The Antikythera mechanism was never meant to predict the future, but to remind humanity of its place within it. Each turning gear reflects a philosophy of balance. The cosmos, the earth, and the human mind, all moving together in one rhythm. The ancient machine becomes more than an artifact. It becomes a reflection of our forgotten unity with the universe. The same stars it once mapped still shine above, unchanged, waiting for us to remember. The more scientists study the mechanism, the clearer it becomes that brilliance is not unique to the modern age. The ancients reached heights of thought we are only beginning to appreciate. Every gear is a whisper across time, every inscription a voice saying, "We were here." It becomes impossible to see the device as a mere curiosity. It is a declaration of human potential. Across centuries, its maker's vision still breathes through bronze, proving that intelligence has no era, only endurance. Engineers replicate the device in workshops around the world, their modern tools tracing the same paths ancient hands once carved by firelight. Each replica hums faintly with motion, the sound of knowledge returning to life. The sound of knowledge returning to life. The machine that once predicted the heavens now inspires new generations to reach for them. What began as an enigma beneath the sea has become a bridge between the dawn of civilization and the digital age. Philosophers and scientists gather to reflect on what the Antikythera mechanism truly represents. It is not a story of lost magic, but of human continuity, a testament that knowledge does not belong to one generation alone. Every discovery we make stands upon forgotten shoulders. Perhaps progress is not a straight ascent, but a spiral, returning to truths rediscovered in new forms. The ancient craftsman who once turned these gears was not reaching forward, but inward, to the same curiosity that still drives us today. As the mechanism's replica turns, its gears align perfectly with the heavens. The same stars that guided its creation still move in their eternal rhythm. Humanity's inventions rise and fade, yet the sky remains unchanged. A clock without end. Watching the bronze wheels move, one cannot help but feel that the ancients understood something we have forgotten, that to measure the universe is not to control it, but to belong to it. In the end, the ancient machine that shouldn't exist becomes proof not only of lost knowledge, but of unbroken human spirit. Its gears turn once more, echoing across time, a song of logic, imagination, and hope. The creator's name is gone, his city dust, his civilization silent. Yet through this relic, his mind still moves, still teaches, still questions. The Antikythera mechanism stands not as an artifact of mystery, but as a mirror showing what humanity has always been capable of: brilliance born from wonder. Time moves on, yet the bronze gears still whisper. The Antikythera mechanism, once forgotten at the bottom of the sea, now stands as one of history's greatest teachers. It reminds us that progress is fragile, that civilizations rise not by strength, but by understanding. The machine's survival is a miracle, a voice carried through millennia to say, humanity has always been capable of wonder. In its silence, it speaks of those who dared to look beyond their horizon and imagine the infinite. Across the world, replicas are built in universities, classrooms, and workshops. Each one turns with the same graceful precision, connecting new generations to minds long gone. Students study its design and see not just mathematics, but humanity's story. Our endless need to understand, to measure, to create. The device becomes a bridge between past and future, proving that knowledge never truly dies. It only waits to be rediscovered. Philosophers write that the Antikythera mechanism is proof of a timeless truth, that every age believes itself at the summit, unaware of the forgotten mountains beneath it. Humanity's history is not a ladder, but a labyrinth, full of rediscoveries, collapses, and resurrections. The machine stands as both a warning and a promise. Knowledge can be lost, but it can also return, carried by the stubborn flame of curiosity that refuses to die. The sea that once guarded the machine still whispers along the coast of Antikythera. Waves roll over the same hidden depths that sheltered it for 2,000 years. Beneath the water, new wrecks rest beside the old, their stories waiting to be told. The discovery of the mechanism reminds us that the past is not gone. It is only buried. Every tide, every dive, every question is another chance to uncover the truth of who we are and who we were meant to be. In the turning of its gears lies the essence of humanity, our will to dream, to understand, and to remember. The Antikythera mechanism endures as proof that intelligence is eternal, that even when empires fall and memory fades, the pursuit of knowledge remains. Somewhere in time, a craftsman once built a machine to capture the heavens. Today we gaze upon it, and for a fleeting moment we understand what he must have felt: wonder. And perhaps, just perhaps, the machine turns still, not in bronze, but in every curious mind that dares to ask how.